Hello and welcome to Master Gardening. I'm your host, Bud Qualk, and we've got a real special treat for you today. We're going to be at the Master Gardener Demonstration and Trial Garden. We've got all kinds of things planned for you, so stick around. We'll be right back. Hey Jim, what bed is this? It's a brand new bed, looks like.
It is a brand new one. This is for birds and butterflies, particularly bluebirds. This has all been recommended by an organization. You see the bluebird house off to the side there. So I figured they need to have something here.
So it's mainly for bluebirds, but as a byproduct, it looks like almost all good butterfly.
All butterflies. We got the mammoth sunflowers in the back, which the heads will be about this big.
Yeah.
If you come back out later, you'll see it.
The yellow finches are like that too.
Oh yeah. So this is basically not only for bluebirds, it's also for everything else.
You got the salvia here, and you got the grasses.
Yes.
You got not the lantana, but the pinta, which is basically the same thing.
Dogwood.
The crabapple tree in the middle there. You got the dogwoods.
Yes, and we planted a couple of them off to think because I didn't make it big enough, but not because I didn't want to, but just the maintenance.
So this is a work in progress. You're just getting started on this one, right?
Yes, this is about a month old.
Yeah.
But I had to get going on it.
Right, of course. Now this fall, this is all going to be filled in, and look at the plants will be all blooming, and the birds will be over here, and the butterflies and all that.
Basically, what I want to do after it gets going is come back here with mulch. I need to mulch this.
Mulch is next.
Is next because
hardwood, or what are you looking at?
Looking at the real fine stuff I get at the Parks Department.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically going to be it. We can go on, show you what we're going to plant. A row of trees and stuff from in
the main garden over here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's going to be a fall project, probably.
As soon as somebody tells us where to plant the plant.
Okay. Yeah, let's go on over to this other bed and see what we got going on over here. Jim, it's a typical spring day.
Yeah, it's windy.
Yeah, it's windy as heck. Tammy's got our screens on, but still not doing really well, so we got to speak up. What is this?
Basically, we asked, and the halfway house guys decided to do this. This is their vegetable garden.
The halfway house guys, those are the guys that when you really need some manual labor, you bring a team out here to help you?
Yes, we have.
This is theirs.
This is theirs. They've been out here. We probably got about 500 man hours in work in here. And Phyllis decided that maybe we ought to offer them a chance to grow a vegetable garden.
Ownership. Empower them.
And give them some pride. And I think they have a very clean, very strong, very nice bed.
It's a lot less weeds than my vegetable garden. And vegetable gardening is what I love. That's where I got started in gardening. You got some tomatoes over here.
Yes.
You got some peppers, look like hot peppers even.
Yes, hot peppers.
And the sweet corn. You know what kind of sweet corn that is, do you?
Sugar babies.
Sugar babies, okay. And they've been in here thin, and they're like me. They plant a little bit too close, and you got to thin them out. Looks like you might even have to thin those out even more.
They'll probably will. They have some beets, which are not coming up.
Beets. This is cucumbers here.
Lots
of cucumbers. There's watermelon right here. There's one watermelon. There's a couple watermelons.
And there's some mushmelons here too.
Mushmelons. That's cantaloupes.
And there's squash over on the other side.
These are onions here. These are bulb onions. And radishes look like they've seen a better day. They've already come and gone. They're starting to go to seed there.
I think they need to be pulled. We got lettuce. They need to be.
Got the red sales lettuce over there, and that looks like the cantaloupes on the far side over there.
Yes.
They've got a lot of stuff
and
here.
Then we have, not associated, but we have in with them the two strawberry beds.
Strawberry beds, and they're raised up for handicap gardeners.
Yeah, this one's basically raised for the handicap.
Handicap gardeners can go ahead and garden right there in those raised table beds. Jim, look at this soil. This is not the way it was when we first started this garden.
No, this has been brought in from the pile. What you've been standing on is here, it's heavy clay. It is very poor, so we brought this in. They have basically every Tuesday is why I bring them out here, and they have rototill this and keep it very, very...
hardly any weeds.
Hardly any weeds.
Now they've interplanted beans
in the
with
corn.
The corn. You don't see that very often. That's a pretty good way to save space. With a small space, you can...
Yes.
It's
it also, the corn, time the corn gets up and tassels out, the beans
take over.
Will take over.
Right. Those may be climbing beans, or they may climb up those stalks.
That's stalks.
And here's that strawberry bed we was talking about a while ago. With the for the handicapped gardeners, we've got a few beds like that. So this is really handy for someone who may be in a wheelchair or has a problem.
We're trying to do. We put in a extension to the sidewalk so the handicap can come down, and before you had to go through the mud. So we made a little extension to the sidewalk at the end.
Okay. This is our fruit garden over here?
The fruit garden, the grapes, apple trees.
This is a new garden too. It's just a few years old, a couple years old.
Yeah, this is the apple trees are having trouble. Some of them may have to be, will be replaced, but we're going to leave them for right now.
They look good right now. They're healthy anyway. They're not. Everybody likes that kind of design where it's a weeping apple tree. I don't think they.
You said the fruit trees and the grapes look good. We have one problem that we have in this tree here. This has been sunburned from the winter. This causes the bark to split, and when it splits, it pretty well damages the tree. This may be one of the few that has to be replaced. Although this thing is green,
it's really healthy.
It's healthy, but we have problems.
And no apples this year for sure.
Oh, the frost or the freeze
got us.
Got everything this year.
It's trying to compartmentalize. Trees don't heal, but you can see where it's starting to try to heal over that. Not heal, but compartmentalize over that dead spot there. Yeah. But you're right. It's not very pretty, is it?
No, it's basically going to have to be replaced.
Well, let's go over the geophyte bed. Does anybody know what a geophyte is?
You want to tell us about what a geophyte
okay, let's
is?
go over the geophyte bed.
The Ag Office provides programs to different groups and organizations, and there's one particularly coming up that's the Harrison Street Baptist Church Youth Program.
Jim, this is called the geophyte bed, and the geophyte bed is, well, it doesn't look very pretty right now, but what the heck's a geophyte?
Well, it's all bulbs. There's got daffodil and daylilies in here.
Tulips, irises, but it looks pretty rough right now.
It is. It's just been cleaned out, and now we're going back mulching them.
Yeah, the daylilies will be blooming pretty quick, but other than that, it looks pretty rough. So, but in the spring, it looks good. Now, tell us about the structures and the building of the garden here. What all these buildings and stuff?
Okay, we basically have had with the halfway house guy and another master gardener putting about 500 man hours out here. We've cleaned up the sand, the wood pile, the scrap metal. We've had a new storage building. We've gravelled all the paths. We have a new metal shed that we put up. We got 3 brand new.
The awning thing there.
The awning thing.
Get the pergola and
the pergola. And this is all going to be able to put everything inside. The pot rack is the last item to be done.
You got the greenhouse there. That's that called a greenhouse?
That's a perennial house.
Perennial house.
The greenhouse.
Greenhouse on the left.
Left. So we've been actually doing it. A lot of work.
This is where all the work goes on.
Oh, yeah.
Jim.
Okay. Yes.
You're a brand new, not a master gardener yet, intern,
right? I'm an intern. Yes,
right.
sir.
You took the class this last year, and the class composed of what? How many?
It's about 14-week program of education in a wide variety of subjects, from entomology, soils, the use of fertilizers, and general education about agriculture.
So you got 4-hour classes once a week for 14 weeks?
Well, it's about a 3-hour class.
3-hour class.
Yes.
Then you have a final, right?
Yes, we had just finished our final exam, and you've got to, like everything, you have to pass it.
It's been a few years since I've done that, but that's the main thing. And then after you pass the test, then you're an intern then.
I'm considered an intern until I do 30 hours of community service, and the community service is volunteering for educational reasons. That's a big part of what the Master Gardeners and the Crichton County Cooperative Extension Office provides. And it's an ongoing program to provide education to the public and to have volunteer things that help promote knowledge to the public.
And have projects out here at the garden all the time, so you can you can get your hours.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Well, now the main hours are in education.
Uh-huh.
And one of the education programs that's coming up is the Ag Office provides programs to different groups and organizations. And there's one particularly coming up that's the Harrison Street Baptist Church Youth Program. It's like a summer camp program, and we've been asked to participate in that to give the children some hands-on education, to provide knowledge about agriculture and horticulture, some education towards food and good living by good food.
There are gardeners of the future, right?
We hope so, yes sir. We want to educate these children and get them involved and minimize our damage to our environment.
Now this program's open to anybody that's interested.
Yes,
any youth groups.
Any youth groups or organization that would be interested could contact the McCracken County Extension Office and request, and I think they are even designing programs to go with, for example, the type of age group involved.
Oh, okay, good.
And the particular interest. For example, they could do a program on nothing but vegetable gardening or nothing but flower gardening.
That's my love, is vegetables.
Right, and there's a wide variety of things. It's just unlimited as the information. For example, some people are into trees, you know, that kind of stuff.
So it's just contact the Extension Office at 554-9520, right?
That sounds correct.
Okay, and Dava Hayden.
Dava Hayden is the director of the program, and she will hook you up.
Okay, and congratulations, and I hope you finally make it to be a master gardener.
Well, I hope to. Thank you.
Okay. For our viewers out there, this is the president of the Master Gardeners, Phyllis Petcoff. Your husband was the one who was with us earlier.
That's right.
To introduce him.
Well,
this wind has really been showing havoc.
Like every time you come out here, it's the wind that's the problem.
Right. And Tammy was on the ground looking for our little wind cover for our microphones, and we never did find it. So
we have an adaptation.
A gardening glove tip. See, without that you couldn't do anything.
So don't throw away those old gardening gloves.
Strictly science. It's a science. Yes, yes. Hey, this bed. By the way, we want to get Tammy back. No, never mind. This is a brand new bed, isn't it, Phyllis?
Yes. I started this one last year because I got tired of looking at a bed with nothing but weeds in it, and being a person who wants it done yesterday, I made a great mistake. I didn't make sure that I had killed all the weeds in it before I rototilled it. So when I rototilled it, all I did was break up all this nutsedge, which is this little...
It's pretty though, isn't it?
Well, oh yeah, right. A little grassy looking thing, but...
I know the yards are made 100% out of that stuff. No?
But it's not a grass, even though it looks like one. It's a sedge, and it's called yellow nutsedge. And the way one can tell that it's a sedge is that the stems are triangular. I'm not sure if you can see.
Not square like mint, but triangular.
Right, or they're not flat like...
My gosh, I didn't know that.
So that's how you tell if it's a sedge. And there's only one product that I know that will kill this, and it's designed specifically for sedge. You can ask about it at your garden center.
What's it called?
Sedge Hammer.
Oh my.
Not a promotion for it, but it's the only thing that I have found, and it does work. It takes a few days, but the problem with this stuff is if you pull it out, it has little nutlets, they call them. That's what they call them. Bulblets, whatever you want to say, on the roots. And when you pull it out of the ground, you tend to leave those behind, so it just keeps coming back and back.
So it likes to be pulled.
Yes,
the more you pull it, the more you
encourage it. So that is the problem here. What started out, there might have been a small patch in here. When I rototilled it, I spread all those little nutlets around, and now it's in the entire bed.
Nutlets. Yeah, you got a whole day's work ahead of you right here.
Well, I sprayed it earlier this morning, and I hoped in 2 or 3 days to see it turning yellow.
Now, the only other thing that I found is you could take a trowel and dig it up, like you're digging up a plant and try to get those. But in this
difficult
thing here, that's going to be tough. Because,
yeah, because there's so much here.
Yes. Now, this wasn't here in Kentucky just a few years ago. Well, this is something new.
No, it's always been around, but I think it's just proliferated. It's one of those things that started out and it was a minor nuisance. Now it's a major nuisance in lawns.
Let's talk about the flowers here a little bit. What do you got here on the flowers?
These are all perennials that
full sun,
that are tolerant of full sun. We have some here. This blue flower here, the Nepentha Walker's Low. It's the 2007 perennial of the year, for whatever that's worth.
On that, yeah.
but it stays very low. That's about as tall as it gets. It just sort of spreads out.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Makes a beautiful border.
Is that a poppy over there? What
No,
is that
that's I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's a geum, Geum.
Okay. Not your run-of-the-mill.
No.
That, and that looks like mint, but it's so.
No, that's a. I'll have to go look. I don't know what it is.
No, that's okay, Phyllis.
Okay.
But it's the compactness is really neat. You know, if
It's
you
a
had like
type
a
of
row of those
salvia.
in front of your yard, it really.
And this is another perennial of the year, I think for 2004. This is David. It's a summer phlox. It's a
Okay.
beautiful
Tall
white
phlox.
Yes.
That looks like coral bells, but it's not.
Nope, that's a penstemon. That's Husker Red. I think it has also been a perennial plant of the year in some years past.
Penstemon. See, I used to call those penstemons.
Penstemon? Well, I'm not sure.
You're probably right.
But they're very nice. Has nice red foliage and makes a good contrast in the garden.
Red. In the
That one was one that I grew from seed myself. It's a plant called clary sage.
clary sage. Clary sage, just right over here with
Yes, the one with the big fuzzy leaves on it.
Yes, okay, that's.
I'm
the
not
fuzz
quite
is,
sure how it's going to turn out, but I like the interesting texture of the leaves.
And the fuzz is called pubescent. It's a pubescent,
That's correct.
which means it's drought
Glaucus.
tolerant. Yeah.
Glaucus, isn't that?
That's the old Master Gardener test that we took. And what's
That's right.
this tall stuff
That's
here?
Amsonia.
Amsonia.
It
That'll have
looks
a bloom on it, or just green?
But kind of an insignificant bloom. The beauty of that plant is that at the end of the summer, it turns brilliant yellow, the foliage.
Oh, okay.
It would look nice if there was a large sweep of it, and it's hard to get a sweep with one plant, but
This is
this is a daylily.
We
This
know all
is
about those.
it's not in bloom yet. It's called Little Prairie Blue Eyes.
And let me guess, I bet this is geranium.
You got that. But
All
of course,
right.
it's labeled geranium.
One in a row.
so
One in a row. Oh,
you-
I didn't even look at the label. I'm sorry. I didn't see it, I promise.
yeah, this is not like your household geranium that you
No.
plant in the pots. Those are actually pelargoniums. This is a true geranium.
I have some of these at home. They're really low to the ground. They just kind of like ground cover
Yeah.
almost.
And this one is a lobelia. It's a cardinal flower.
It's almost a hybelia instead of a lobelia, isn't it?
Well, yes, it's not grown very much, but the interesting thing is it has the red foliage and, along with a brilliant cardinal red flower when it blooms.
Is that a coneflower over there?
It is.
Echinacea?
Yes, echinacea. This is another fairly new perennial. This is a coreopsis called Jethro Tull. And it's interesting because the petals are little tubes rather than flat. If you could see,
Oh, yeah.
so they're kind of cool. Do you know who the Jethro Tull was, by the way?
Jethro Tull
besides
was
a rock
country
band.
singer. No?
No, besides a rock band, he was a man who invented the automatic seed planter.
Okay. Well, what's this right here, Phyllis?
This one is another 1999 perennial of the year. It's a daisy called Becky. Of course, this one has been reclassified. This is a piece of weed. It's no longer just classified as a daisy. It's classified with the chrysanthemums, and I don't know why, but I'm not into nomenclature. So,
And here's another pubescent plant over here.
yep, that's a verbascum. I'm sorry. Actually, it's a relative of our native mullein plants. It's a member of the same family.
And here's another one blooming.
Yes,
Verbascum, same thing.
Jackie and Pink.
Jackie and Pink.
And this is a threadleaf coreopsis, a relative of Jethro Tull up there.
Oh, okay.
But it will have single white, yellow flowers.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. This, you can come back next year. This is going to be really almost all full of blooms and stuff here, right, Phyllis?
Let us hope.
Let us hope. Okay. All right. Well, we're off to another bed, Phyllis. I appreciate
Carry
your
on.
help.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
This is Shirley Edwards, Master Gardener, Elite. You have been you've been historian. Now you're the secretary. You've been president.
I have.
You've been No, I'm just kidding. But you've been around since day one, haven't you? What class were you in?
1999.
Was that the first class?
No, the first class was in 1998.
Okay.
I did want to take that class, but it was on the wrong day of the week for me.
Oh, I'm
so-
sorry. I'm sorry. But you've been around. You're probably one of the older. No, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Never
Yeah,
mind.
right.
Let's talk about the F word, flowers. What are these things right here? And they're still pretty. They're getting a little late in the season, but what are they?
They're bachelor buttons, and they're an annual, and they reseed. They come up each year from seed, and these were here last year. Actually, they've been here for several years, and each year we get a new strain, a new color, and
I like the blue ones, yeah, myself.
Yeah.
Those are my best favorite.
Right.
This is your bed, right?
this is my bed.
We have a Adopt-A-Bed program out here at the garden, and this is your bed. You got a pretty good size one.
I do. I did share it with a couple of people who have abandoned ship, so
Oh my goodness.
I'm left to myself right now.
And these are
Rebecca's, Black-Eyed Susans.
Black-Eyed Susans, Rebecca. I see you're starting to do some mulch here. It's a good time of the year for that.
It is, right.
And what's the benefits of mulch?
It retains the moisture and it keeps the weeds down.
All right, and it keeps the roots a little bit cool.
Right.
There's more Rebecca. What is this right here?
It's an Althea,
Better known as common name
Rose of Sharon.
Rose of Sharon. And it's had a little bit of winter kill, but it's starting to recover.
It is.
All right. Poppies?
No, that is some more of the bachelor buttons.
It is?
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right. And this is some more of the Rebecca. This is a different kind.
Different kind, right.
Different kind, yeah. This is more like what's in my yard. This is more common than those other ones.
This is the Goldstrom.
Yeah, those don't spread quite as fast as these. These are pretty invasive. This started out being just a couple plants probably.
Right.
And this grass?
That's blue fescue.
Blue fescue. Mm-hmm. Doesn't look like the fescue in my yard. But it's blooming, for heaven's sakes. Look at that. And grasses do bloom. Not very significant, but it does. That's really good. Two good specimens. Daylilies are just starting to come in. About another 2 weeks, we'll be able to get some blooms out of these things, won't we?
Some of them are starting to put on buds right now.
Okay. Now the orange ones are blooming at my house. You know, the old ditch lilies, the orange ones
right.
that everybody doesn't pay attention to, but they're beautiful. Okay, what do we got coming up here?
That's some phlox. This is some lantana I just planted to fill in a vacant spot for some summer color.
This is something really common in my yard, and I love these things, don't you?
Oh, I'm sorry I missed that one.
Oh, I missed the bulb. You know, the bulb came off. Doggone it. And these tall things in the back?
That is Verbena bonensiaris, and P.L. Smith likes to call that Verbena on a stick.
That's what almost everybody calls it. And they're good in flower arrangements. If you cut them off there, they're just wonderful. And they reseed too.
They do.
Okay. Some more Rose of Sharon. I know a few of them. Every time I see one. You don't know what that thing over there is. It's probably a weed.
No, that is phlox.
This tall one right back here is tall phlox?
Yes, this is tall phlox. I just planted that about a month ago, and it had some winter damage, and it's also been lacking in some moisture.
But it's recovering, and it'll bloom here before it's over, probably.
I hope so.
Okay, and these shrubs, what are these? I've got a couple of these in my yard. I don't even know what they are.
These are spirea.
Spirea. This is the old-fashioned spirea that if you old farmhouses and our grandparents used to have spirea, mock orange, and all those things, all those neat things. We got these big bushes every so often. You know what those things are?
Pussy willows.
Those are pussy willows. Oh. You know what I did to mine? My father gave me a cutting. I pruned it up into a standard, like a tree, and it was about 5 trunks, and now it's 40 foot tall.
Really?
Yes. Carolyn Roof said, that's not a pussy willow. I said, yes, it is. Tall. Okay. What's this right here? You know?
Daisies, bud.
Those are daisies?
Yes.
Well, I'm supposed to act like I don't know, so I'll make you look. Yeah. Right, Tammy?
That's right, bud.
Okay. Okay, yeah. More cone flowers, echinacea. And they ruled, by the way, that echinacea really isn't good for you like they thought it was for all those years. Everybody been eating echinacea, and now they find out echinacea isn't, you know, one of those really disheartening things for gardeners. And doggone it, these daylilies are going to be coming on here. Tammy, we might want to come back in about 3 weeks because they're going to be everywhere. Okay, more spirea. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got the trial beds over here. You got time to go look at the trial beds, or do you need to go get Phyllis?
I think you need to get Phyllis.
Okay.
She's more familiar with the trials than I am.
Oh, okay. Well, you better get back. You're not quite done with your...
No, I'm not.
You got some help today, though, don't you?
I do,
Okay.
and I appreciate that.
Thanks, Shirley.
You're welcome.
Okay, Phyllis, this is the demonstration plants for the University of Kentucky.
Yes.
Give us a little bit of background. What's the deal on that?
Well, the various companies that produce these plants send them to different universities around the country so that they can try and see what works best in what part of the country.
And we're kind of special down here in Western Kentucky.
Oh yeah, we certainly. We need something that tolerates heat, drought, and ups and downs of temperatures.
Zone 7 compared to the rest of the state, Zone 6.
Yes.
And we haven't had any rain. It's drier. This is the driest spring we've had in a long time. So I see you get your hoses in there.
Yes, and they're watering drip irrigation. So we water the roots, not the foliage.
You want to water deep, not shallow, and you want to water what 1 inch a week, right?
Yes.
1 inch a week.
If we don't get rain, you know.
You shallow water or just sprinkle with the water, it makes the roots grow shallow, and that means you have to water even more.
Right.
Right, Tammy?
You want them to develop deep roots.
Okay.
But
what are these right here?
These are called globe amorous. Globe for obvious reasons. They have little ball-shaped flowers on them.
They'll bush out after the.
Right, and they're an annual. But they will grow all the way to frost and make a great cut flower.
Different colors.
Different colors. Although I don't see that we have any white ones here, but we have some magenta and some pink ones. And then we have some petunias.
The old petunias. Summer.
Coordinating colors.
Lasts all summer if you do it right.
Yes. Great for hanging baskets if you're interested in doing that.
And then this is another one of the standards.
Yes, good old marigolds. These are tall marigolds.
If you cut off the tops there a little bit, they'll bush out more.
Right, and they will bloom all summer long until frost gets them. So some people say they don't like the smell of it, but I just think they smell spicy.
Well, they're good to plant out in your garden with your vegetables because they keep pests away.
Right,
so
I've heard that
too. They
too.
may not smell very good after all. Keep pests away.
And this is a plant called mallow. Some people call it miniature hollyhock because that's basically what it looks like.
It looks like hollyhocks, yeah.
But they're not even in the same family.
Okay.
I'm not sure what color flowers these will have, but I've seen them with pink and magenta.
The old nutsedge is getting in there again.
Oh,
doggone it. Hate that stuff. The old sedge hammerback. Okay,
and
now
we have
these look like almost like
interesting
tomato
plant
plants here.
It looks like a giant horseweed to me, but it's called Mexican zinnia. I really can't tell you much about it. It's a new plant, so it's like I said, it's a trial. We're going to see what happens with it.
It is looking good. Of all the plants up through here, this probably is the most best looking plant we got. It must like this dry, hot.
So apparently it's doing pretty well.
Okay. And this bed here, this was not like this. This soil's all been amended.
Right,
it's
and
beautiful.
it's had compost added to it.
Okay, then you have to take the results of these plants and send back to UK and tell them what happened.
We have a report at the end of the year that's filled out, and we tell them what went wrong, what's the good things about it, what negatives, is it worthwhile. We've had some really interesting plants, some that are duds, but...
Now this garden's open. What's our address here on Coleman Road? 3600 Coleman Road.
That's correct. Right across from Dippin' Dots.
Open to the public. Come on out.
Come out.
Around.
Take a look.
Yeah.
There's metal gates that are usually locked, but there's a passage gate.
Okay.
A wooden gate that one can come
walk
in
through, right.
and look around, and we'd like to have them come out and visit.
Okay. Well, President Phyllis, I appreciate it, and thank your husband Jim and Jim Anderson and Shirley Edwards. Had a great show. Okay. I appreciate it.
Come back anytime.
Okay. Thanks, Phyllis.
Okay. Thank you.
This is your host, Bud Qualk from Master Gardening. I appreciate you coming out today. Demonstration trial garden out on Coleman Road. Come on out and see it. Till next time, good gardening. That's wonderful, Tammy. Oh, hey!